And obviously, the early game starts here as we do load on. And a lot around the level 1. We've seen Kerez on this RAL, admittedly on the red side of the map, look for these interesting level 1s where he dashes over walls. But it looks like, at least for now, more defensive, coning out around the map.
Now, some kind of interesting things here. We see the Conqueror on the Jace. Often we see Phase Rush picked up against the Tristana. But instead, I guess, wants some more brawling potential. And in the top lane, it is the Comet once again on the Gragas rather than the Phase Rush. So just wants that stronger lane. And I wouldn't be surprised if Driver goes for some kind of AP off tank build again. You know, he does kind of need AP damage this game. So wouldn't be surprised to see either, you know, Everfrost, Leandry, or perhaps even the Rod of Ages coming through once again.
I feel like he's just going to go AP. In general, if Gragas isn't going AP, they take either Phase Rush or the Grasp. And this guy likes to dominate his lane, so
yeah, we'll
is on
see
brand.
Which AP build he ends up going for.
True.
There are a lot of options here. I think Leandry's goes pretty hard if he can get it. I guess Everfrost is solid too. But I'm kind of curious to see how this mid matchup goes. I mean, without the Phase Rush, you can't disengage from the bomb as easy, but maybe with the Conk, you can trade back a little bit. We'll see. I feel like Tristana might be a bit of a bait, to be honest.
Yeah?
Because I think that it is quite hard to DPS against champs like Jax and Maokai, right? Like, even if you can deal the damage, actually autoing them is not particularly easy. And I also feel like Tristana doesn't itemize towards lifesteal that easily either. Like, you kind of need Shiv Navori or Kraken Navori. And admittedly, like, not that many ADCs can itemize lifesteal that early. But it feels like, you know, when you've got, you know, Jace that shuts that down, you've got the Maokai and the Jax, it feels really hard for Tristana to do something.
Yeah, it definitely does. Although
Was that versus Flash? I didn't see.
I wasn't looking at that lane.
No, okay, you didn't.
Okay. All things considered, I think lane's going about as expected. Level 1 not yet found from J-Team, although they did just hit it there. As Minji hits level 3 and just immediately goes in, finding a very good trade for himself.
Kind of like how 116 played that, though. Just gets that E back. Disengages from the trade. And top lane, the Kai, he does have priority, but he's losing a lot of health. And we've seen this happen before against Driver, where Jaxes kind of end up in a tough position and then ultimately can't quite crash the wave.
Almost feels like Kongwe's going to have to show here to help him.
Yeah, and there's just so much early pressure with that Absolute Focus, Scorch, and the Comet. The Kai's health bar continues to drop. Now, there is no jungle attention near him. Maybe Kongwe could go up and fix it.
No, going towards mid. Minji pretty far pushed.
Yeah, no mana here for 116 on the Jace, so Kongwe going to drop that towards top lane, and maybe that'll make Driver a little more scared, although it doesn't really feel like he's gankable. And I think this might be the first time in a while that we've seen Kongwe play one of these kind of more, I don't want to call them supportive, more like facilitating junglers.
Yeah.
He normally does prefer his carries, and I think that's why they often ban that Sedge and the Maokai on the blue side. But Maokai, he can still build a lot of damage. And also I think this game, you know, maybe need to ban the Milio. Ooh, his carries. Gets cancelled, but has so much damage, or so much health. Doesn't really feel the effects.
I'm interested to see Bruce's build. We saw last game he played Ashe, actually had a really intelligent build. Realizing what his weaknesses were against that Ziggs, picking up a really early Vamp Scepter and showing its worth. Now, I could be wrong, but from memory, I think Beyond's only loss was to CFO.
Okay.
And CFO's only loss was to J-Team.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that is how it looks at the moment. So, I mean, if Beyond win here, there's a bit of a power triangle, but if J-Team do, maybe establishing themselves as the team to beat.
Ooh, maybe looking here on Kongwe.
Kongwe does have the Bramble Smash, which will proc Phase Rush, and he will sprint away from any action.
Yeah, it does just walk out of there. 1116, though, he's already invested the TP. He didn't pick up the Dirk, instead just went towards the tier. And oftentimes we see that tier delayed in favor of picking up the Dirk first base. But doesn't get it here. And that's going to mean that there's a bit less pressure in the lane. He used a lot of mana already as well. Minji still isn't based. Maybe looking bot is Kongwe. He's in the area. Doesn't look like he'll be able to find it though. And Ash, so oppressive early. Also forces Betty to take cleanse, which is kind of nice. Lava. He's looking towards these wolves. They are up. I think he can get them.
Yeah, has smite, so should be his. Gobbles them up. Friend of the forest.
And mid lane's going really, really well for Minji. And top lane, he's going really well for Driver. I mean, right now, Minji, he hasn't even had to base yet, and 1116 is already and already down on CS. And top lane, Lakai, he has some very bad items, just has the Negatron, or the Null Magic Mantle here, up against a full lost chapter from Driver. So it feels like J-Team solo laners are doing a great job in their matchups already. Slow does come out. Oh, gets the cancel.
Oh, that was really nice, but I mean, ultimately it's pretty fine for Minji, not having activated that teleport yet. Oh, nice engage found from Enso. Turning around Kira's stun. Finding a good amount of poke there. Bruce tanking up a tower shot though, kind of turns that trade around.
Yeah, J-Team lane's doing very well for themselves. Hasn't really turned into tangible leads just yet, but it feels like they're kind of on their way. As Minji, he TP's back mid.
Feels like after first base comes through for these bot lanes, this is a time where J-Team can look towards this dragon. Should have the favorable sort of skirmish, at least at this stage of the game.
Yeah, now Dirt completed for the Jace. Might end up losing a plate though. He had to base again as recalls come out of bot lane as well. As we'll see what the teams start to look for here. Will it be that first drag, or do we have our eyes set on Herald? I think for J-Team, getting Herald for this Tristana would go a long way. Minji, he's been doing a great job in this 1v1. I mean, he's quite ahead in gold right now. Has a plate for himself. CS lead as well. But now that Jace has a Dirk, obviously has a lot of damage. Dragon is being looked at by J-Team. And I would be surprised if they do this. I feel like it gives up too much tempo in the Herald. I think you really want the Herald as a Tristana team, especially because Driver is doing so well around top that it feels like it should be J-Team's Herald if they want it.
Yeah, and Kongyue in the bot side, Herald being up in 10 seconds means if this Maokai is spotted, can be answered back with Larva just running top.
Ooh, maybe now Kongyue, he is spotted.
Larva
Larva's
is in
nearby.
the area. Nature's Grasp not yet coming out, but Daisy is. Bramble Smash to try and stop Daisy from laying waste to this Maokai, but waste will be laying as Nature's Grasp comes out. No ult available for Alistair, which can be very important. He's getting really, really low. 3-man knockup from Daisy, but Ignite takes down the Alistair.
I think also, Alistair would have got out if not for that sapling placed in the bush. I'm not sure if it got procced before, but I feel like it might have made a difference. Not too sure. Lakai, though, even with the Mercs, is kind of getting bodied up here. I mean, it is a tough matchup for sure. And J-Team, they look towards the Dragon. I actually kind of like this because I feel like Beyond already invested a lot in the bot side, so they shouldn't have any cooldowns to go towards the Herald right now. So this should just be not only a drag, but you can still get onto top side to contest that Herald. So while it does end up being a kill, I actually think that J-Team come out ahead because the kill went to Keras.
Driver has ult. Oh my god, that man's not wasting any time. Picks himself up a kill. They're winning across the map. They lost first blood, but Dragon and a solo kill up top.
Definitely, yeah. I think happy about the position you're here in as J-Team. And with that just insane lead in top lane, shouldn't be too hard to imagine them looking towards the Herald. Probably needs to get off the map and spend that gold as Driver. Driver must be up a lot of gold.
What I tell you, Driver slapping his lane yet again.
He definitely does. Every time he gets a even matchup, he gets ahead. And every time he gets a counter matchup, he absolutely dominates. Just look at that HP difference here. I mean, Driver just annihilates them. And it feels like kind of greedy from Lakai. Maybe also an itemization problem. I feel like the Mercs rush isn't that good against Gragas. Driver.
Well, he's just all business.
Yeah, he is.
Wipes his hands. Done with this, dude.
Cold-blooded killer.
I think that's the second time, by the way, we've seen Driver on Gragas solo Diver Jackson get a kill.
Yeah. He has an Everfrost now at 10 minutes, so very big spike.
Yeah. This feels like Rift Herald is probably J-Teams to take when they feel like it.
Yeah, although 116 is back on the map, just TP'd, and Minji, he's in trouble.
Minji, knocked away again. He's going to have to commit that ult. It's actually going to be on Kongyue under tower. He's traded a lot of damage back and gets the reset as now It's going to be the Lalva turning up as Ivan. I don't know how Minji escaped, but he did.
Yeah, that was crazy. I am very surprised he managed to get out. That's pretty important because once again, Beyond, they invest a lot and it feels like nothing really comes of it. They're not going to be able to get an objective. Sure, they get Minji's flash, but you also kind of lose a lot of your engaged potential with Kongwei having no flash. Shiv now completed from Minji. I think Duskblade should be not far off as well from 1116. If he can grab that here, or he might be going Ghostblade, I suppose. Oh, he does not have it. He just has another longsword.
Oh,
Lakai.
Driver! He's looking for a second one. Doesn't have flash available, but will be able to just run him down. Turns around, but again, Lakai having to leave. We'll have teleport to come back to this lane, but if there's no attention towards top, Driver can get insanely ahead as another plate will be picked up here mid as well for Minji.
Yeah, and all these plates picked up have been pure 1v1. I mean, this is really impressive from the J-Team solo laners.
Lakai gets back, cops half of his health for it.
Yeah.
Oh, how doomed is that?
Feels pretty rough. Herald hasn't even been picked up, but J-Team feels like they should be able to start it basically whenever they want. Just need to wait for carriers to show bot, and then it shouldn't be too difficult. But, I mean, J-Team solo laners really playing well this game. Mid lane CS is kind of closed up, but Driver, he's closing in on 50.
Yeah, this is insane. And again, this is the second time we've seen him do this in this exact matchup, so I think at this stage, as teams going up against J-Team, you cannot allow them to get this matchup. Driver just seems too comfortable and, I mean, experienced at it.
Yeah, it almost feels like you kind of need red side when you're playing against J-Team, because giving Driver the counter pick or just blinding your top early feels like such a mistake. Now, this was Gragas that came through on 4.
There's 3 saplings in the same bush, or is it 2 in a ward? I can't tell.
Cannot tell. TP comes through from Driver, has himself the tier 2 boots, a 40 CS lead, a level advantage as well. And I do not think that Beyond will want to fight this just yet. Probably want more items on Betty. Yeah, Betty's such a consistent carry. Oh, nice poke coming out of 1116.
Bruce actually finding a good amount of damage on carriers, but Nature's Grass is going to come out. Lalva should be okay to tank this up, although he will. Daisy also comes out, and he's going to land the root here, but it's going to be the stun found and the follow-up. 4-man Magnet Storm, but it's going to... What is the follow-up? Lakai trying to do the damage, is going to be able to pick up one. He will go down in return as Driver was not there for the start of the fight. The man you really need in Kyrez finds a magical engage as the explosive cast comes out. He's getting bomber comboed. Kyrez running for his life. The body slam comes and confirms it. He may have turned up late, but when he turned up, he had enough impact, and they turn it around 3-0 on the Gragas.
Yeah, look at the top gap right now. In fact, he might even solo Herald while he's at it.
Why not?
And this is insane. I mean, I felt like overall, Beyond probably played that fight a little bit better with that 4-man out of Rel, but the top difference in this fight cannot be understated. See, they just grasp. It comes out very early. I think it was kind of a surprise because it feels like nothing really should come of this. And nothing really does until 1116 overextends, gets engaged on. But the Magnet Storm that comes out of Keras really saves this fight. And Lakai, if he were a bit more fed, probably would have absolutely cleaned house here. But Driver is just too ahead. Comes and sorts him out.
I think interestingly, that fight felt like if either top lane was there first or a little bit quicker, it goes a whole lot different.
Nice Gragas combo at the end. Does just grab Keras as a little bit extra, and Gragas does not have cooldowns.
No.
That E is just, what, it's like a 3-second right now with how much CDR he has, as long as he hits it, and man, top diff is absurd right now. I mean, that is just an insane lead, and what, again, was just 1v1. He didn't get ganked, you know? He didn't receive any ganks. He has just done this, and he does this time and time again. If Driver has counterpick, he just annihilates the enemy top. And if he blinds, he still plays very well, right? Like, they never get advantage, and oftentimes he's the one coming out ahead anyway. This is Herald picked up for J-Team, second drag picked up for J-Team as well. And while I think Beyond might have the better comp, J-Team feels like they're in the driver's seat, so to speak.
Oh my god.
Come on,
I like it, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was. Way to include it. And look at the player golds. Driver, 1.2k up on anyone else in this game, and in fact, on his lane, he's up 2k gold at 15 minutes. And you're seeing him spread his lead as well. Him being at that dragon is because ultimately he's allowed to leave his lane. He's still up 50 CS, isn't going to lose the tower. gets his team another dragon, a nice and early one, and the following dragons from this point are just going to be group team fights anyway. Lakai's going to have to be there. And so giving over a little bit of CS to ensure you're fighting for Soul Point next, definitely valuable.
Does feel that way, and I think it's top tower. Not too long left on it. It's level 12 versus 10.
Is Driver just going to ignore the Jax?
I think he can.
He is. I think if Jax goes in, he probably just dies. In fact,
oh,
the Flash Everfrost is going to land. Lakai does go untargetable, or dodges everything anyway, and there's now Driver actually, he's going to be a big shutdown, does go golden for now, and it's up to everyone to make him survive. They do. Though, kill found. It is a bit scarier now for Driver, though, without access to both Flash and Zhonya's, although quite possibly not that far off Zhonya's anyway.
Now, first item Navori by Xayah.
Ooh.
I think normally we see Kraken into Navori, right?
Yeah.
So, a little different. I'm kind of surprised by it, but, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
It's probably less damage, but more survivability.
Yeah. Herald has dropped a mid, and I think this one is definitely gone. Maybe even another one, because currently Jace is pressuring top, and there's not that much wave clear here. I don't think they can actually take the tower, but at least get the crash.
Yeah, they do. Ooh. Is this tower saved? No, they might just let it go down. He is, but they're looking. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does go wide, but Enso should be able to find it.
Flash up in 5.
Does manage to. And that is the Glacial, also procced, headbutt later.
Oh.
He does have flash, but with that bomb on him, he should not be able to get out in any which way. Minji does find himself yet another kill. That's 2 now for the Tristana.
Tragic there. 1116, his flash was 7 seconds away, I think, when Alistair started looking at him. If he had that a tiny bit sooner, would have been able to make it out. And it's a pretty rough death, I feel like, because that's a lot of gold that Tristana can now gain. And obviously got the kill as well. Maybe Minji's the one being looked at. Does jump away. Spidey sense is tingling. Those carriers is in that area. And gold lead continues to mount for J-Team. They're looking like the real deal right now. Feels like they are well in control of this game.
I'm telling you, man. Spring split Minji and summer split Minji are 2 whole different things. This guy has actually just been dominating in his lanes.
Yeah, he played pretty well this game. CS lead has closed up, but feels pretty good. Now, lost chapter on Kongyue, so it's going to be going the Leandry's Demonic. So there will actually be a lot of AP damage that comes out of the Maokai. But it feels like Maokai from behind, or like rather when his team is behind, definitely not as oppressive. You can kind of clear these bushes with the Ivan shield.
I don't know if I like the AP Maokai. You have Ivan shield, Gragas has sustain. Both AD carriers will be able to purchase the Bloodthirster.
Yeah, I think it's still worth going just because you are the solo AP on this team. But I also think it doesn't get as much impact as it would against another team. And again, when you're behind, I feel like, you know, it's much harder to face check in the Maokai mines when your team is behind, you don't have those items. But yeah, once the Magic Resist comes through, once the Lifesteal comes through, and of course the Ivan shields, it is going to be a bit more difficult to contest. And Ivan, I mean, we've seen it today already, but it feels like it is very strong. Obviously, Ivan impact is sometimes hard to see, but you definitely feel it when you're playing the game. It's very hard to kill anyone on an Ivan team, and I think that's actually very important because a lot of the times, someone getting picked ends up completely turning the game around. And Ivan shuts down so much of that, and when you're ahead, keeps you ahead. You know, stops those shutdowns from going down, stops sums from being burned unnecessarily. Definitely feels more of a win more champ.
I also think one thing to consider with the Ivern too is this kind of works opposite to how Sejuani does, where if you pair it with these range champions, you are able to get quite a lot of extra damage off. If you know, your AD carries are sitting in a bush, the extra magic damage on every single auto attack does add quite a lot of damage over time. And so I think, like, in this team comp in specific, it works really well because a lot of your damage will be eventually coming from this Tristana and from this Ashe. Especially Ashe, with how her Q works. Really nice interaction. Lalva, though, guarding Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land here onto Keres. Perhaps not the target they were after. But look at the map. It is just completely dark here for Beyond.
Yeah, I think Beyond need to land some poke with this Maokai probably before this fight. But you can see there, the Ivan shield
gets the reset.
Eats the whole thing. Doesn't even get close.
Not even close, yeah.
I like this flank from Lakai, but I wonder if he's too weak. Driver can keep him out.
Driver's marking him. There's no way Lakai can get through this Gragas. A level down as well as many, many items. Nature's Grasp will come through. Enso should be tanking this up. Does have access to that Unbreakable Will. Will be Daisy going down before the fight, though. Yeah, as well as,
no,
he's eating up a bit of poke, so it's still finding a little bit of value. Betty actually leading the charge here for Beyond, taking matters into his own hands. Dragon will reset. Wow, this is a big tedious fight.
Ooh, some good poke coming through.
Flash available for both supports. It is going to be eventually Kyrus who pulls it first, but Rel ult going down is a massive, massive cooldown. This Dragon has remained at about 3k health for as long as I can remember. It is starting to go down now, and it's going to be eventually picked up here for Beyond, but the fight that entails is going to be at least the first kill for Bruce. They're following it up for more. Lakai going down. It looks like Betty will likely go down as soon as these resets come through, but fantastic timing on that blast cone will keep him alive. And it's just a 2-for-1. Importantly, third Dragon does not get picked up here from J-Team.
Yeah, all things considered was even, but now J-Team, they're looking at the Baron, and with two members dead, 2 HP, 2 low HP bars. And I think this does just go over. Now, it is 2 items completed by Jace, has TP, but can he get here in time? TP into this is honestly pretty risky. Let's see if he can pull it off, though. I feel like it's actually pretty hard to land the poke onto...
Yeah, you can land on an Enso, but that even gets gobbled up by the Ivan shield. Kyrus is arriving, no ult though, so his impact will be less than perhaps you'd like. His teleport coming in, it is going to be the Alistair going down first. Inevitably, Baron picked up and disengaged being looked for here as Kyrus actually looks to go in. Big poke onto Bruce, doesn't have flash available. 116 actually gets the kill, goes untargetable, but Minji finding a lot of damage, but Betty finding more. Driver goes down, as does 1116. There is Baron buffs available here on Minji and Lalva.
A very scrappy outcome there, but I think it is an outcome that favors J-Team. With the Baron and the Tristana, should be able to get a lot done. And I think this was pretty badly misexecuted by J-Team. I mean, the Alistair ult being wasted, Driver kind of fails the engage. But honestly, despite that, they managed to come out ahead. I mean, it was really nice by Enso at the end. Disengage the Jax and then just kind of clean them up. Blast Cone was very lucky. You know, it feels like if even one of those members go down, that's just a clean Baron. Instead, it actually ends up being not so clean of a Baron.
Oh, look at Betty's build. He's cooking.
Oh, okay. No cracking whatsoever. Do you think he forgot?
No, I think what's happened is he gets outranged by Tristana as well as Ashe, and he doesn't really want to walk up near a Gragas. So Rapid Fire at least lets him perhaps look for a snare with, you know, an impact like the W with the feather and then Q. So you can look for a snare that way, as well as every now and then get a hit off. I think that's actually what is the thought process behind it. Because otherwise you're losing so much damage with this Rapid Fire cannon.
Yeah, definitely could be. And Maokai, he must be kind of close to the Leandry.
Wow, it's Radiant Virtue, by the way, for Ral.
Oh, a little interesting. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the next drag. Not sure how much J-Team can get with this Baron. Feels like this top tier 1 should... Top bot tier 1 should go down.
Yep.
But I don't think they can go for anything more. I mean, they have a minute, so they could maybe pressure bot. And perhaps they will if they notice Lakai show top. Feels like Lakai might just be better off grouping at this point. Because he can't shove out top in time. I guess maybe he feels like he's not that useful grouped either. Does just feel like the Jax isn't much of a champ in this game.
Oh, Minji.
He's been looked at. And I do want to say credit to Betty, who's found himself a pretty big lead.
Yeah.
Despite being on his team being on the back foot the whole time.
I think all things considered, these 280 carries fairly even in terms of gold, but because of the global gold, takes a lot more for Betty to remain even, as he is going to have to commit the Featherstorm there, unfortunately. And with that, you feel like perhaps Xayah not safe enough. No Flash, no Featherstorm. Might be this tier 2 going down in favor of J-Team.
Yeah, the bush wall is so annoying.
Baron actually going down in 15 seconds, so maybe not enough time. We'll have to see.
Yeah, this is really their last wave. I don't think this tower falls.
Oh,
that's a lot of healing.
Yeah. Okay, Nature's Grasp will come out. Is looking like engaged from the supports again. Unbreakable will committed from this Alistair. He's taking no real damage as Kira's, in fact, goes for the Magnet Storm, but doesn't find anyone of value. Driver finding that body slam on Lakai to stop anything coming from him. It's going to be too cleanly found. Nice little play there from Driver.
Yeah, I want to see, did Driver have any vision of that? Maybe he saw...
There are a lot of pink wands. I have to think so.
Yeah, he probably did, but... I mean, yeah, had to have at some point, but Lakai, I don't know if he thought he was going to be able to get that off, but the disengage coming through from Driver shuts him down completely. We'll get a replay of it. It does, yeah, they do have that ping in the crucial position. Redemption heals so much.
Yeah.
Nature's Grasp, I think they probably should have just taken this here as Beyond. Just kind of chill. You got the TP, you got a lot of cooldowns out. Can just kind of relax from this point, but they try and engage in the car. I mean, he's seen so early.
Look at
Driver's
that.
so ready for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think even though you're ready for it, it is very hard to react to the flash insta-Q.
The guy, he's pretty frustrated.
I would be too. Imagine you laning as Jax against Drivers, Gragas.
I would not.
1-5-1 on the Jax.
Yeah,
Making
tough game.
Drivers making Jax look balanced. That's almost, I almost am angry about that.
Is Leandries now picked up on the Maokai?
Wait, this seems illegal.
He's just going to solo it. Yeah, I guess no one else is nearby. And Menji, he's working on his BT, which is going to shut down all that poke coming out of the Jace. Now, kind of interesting, Jace is going more lethality. Isn't going towards the Sereldas, which I think is kind of a mistake. Although, there is an argument for it, depending on who you're hitting. By the way, I feel like Serelda's just so annoying, so strong.
Or Cosmic Drive is completed from Driver. This guy's going to have cooldowns up just perma.
That is a lot of
It's now an
CDO.
Earth champ.
Yeah, you can probably trade his Gragas ult for Kai'Sa ult, or sorry, for Xayah ult, and have it up when it's not even like halfway
Yeah,
ready.
you probably get like 3 uses of Gragas
Yeah.
ult for every 1 Xayah ult.
It's pretty crazy.
Which I guess does add value to this rapid fire cannon. I think actually without the rapid fire cannon as better, you really struggle to do anything.
And Shojin on Jax, do you think that's the play given how behind you are? I mean, I
God,
guess
no.
it doesn't really matter what you build. Maybe you're going to be useless, but I feel like that almost confirms you as useless.
I almost feel like just second item Zhonya's so you can try go and look for a stun and then delay with it. I mean, I don't know. Ultimately, I think there's no correct answer. I think when you're this far behind as a Jax,
Yeah.
especially when Driver has had your number this entire game.
Bet he's getting pretty close, I would imagine, to his LDR. But I'm not actually sure how much of a difference it makes in a team fight.
Okay.
Now,
there's-
Hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane's big. There's so many melee champs on the side of BYG that you're just constantly going to be slowing at least 3 people.
Yeah. I think that is one of the best items when you buy it. Like, it just feels
Yeah.
super nice. Actually, Mortal Reminder on Betty. I mean, I guess there is like a lot of healing and shielding. I can kind of see
And
why
you
he
do
went for
hit
it.
fairly consistently.
Yeah, I can see why he went for it. We'll see how much it ends up actually reducing. Now, Lakai, he has managed to keep up mostly in levels. He's only down 1. Serpent's Fang on 1116. Again, kind of like it. There's a fair amount of shielding from the Vern.
I guess you have to,
Yeah.
almost. But it doesn't feel very good to buy.
Yeah, not
At least personally, it feels like... I mean, you saw it there. It definitely has its effect, but unfortunately, if it hits onto Tristana, it's not going to matter. As Driver looking for his second solo kill of the game. He's up 2 levels now.
Yeah, I think there's nowhere for
Yeah,
Lakai
this
to
is
go.
so... Oh, okay, Driver misses the body slam. Grandmaster at Arms will be committed, and Driver maintaining safety, falling back as Nature's Grasp does come out in the mid lane. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is available if they did want to look to turn this around.
Feels like this poke isn't really getting anywhere.
No.
I think Ivan being this far ahead, I mean, look at him. He's getting close to, honestly, close to 4 items here. 4
Look,
core
oh
items.
my, just fully heals everyone.
Yeah, Ivan is just so impressive when ahead. I mean, if it's the other way around, if the Jace is fed and the Ivan is behind, then the shields barely block anything. But when Ivan is this accelerated, it feels so hard.
I'd be interested to see healing done by the Moonstone as well.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting stat to see. Both
TP's come
teleports.
through.
Driver in the pit. Lakai further north. Poke landing from this Jace. Takes Enso down to just over half. Arrow goes wide, but it's now Lakai. He's definitely out of position. Although flash forward onto Bruce. Cleanse flashed away. And now the damage is coming through, and it's definitely favoring J-Team. BYG now running for their lives as... Looks like attention will go back towards this Baron, but without the Nature's Grasp, it is up now actually, so there is another avenue to try and look. Alistair does not have ult, does have flash, and Bruce...
Ooh. The poke is landing. I mean,
Yeah.
2k damage done by Maokai.
Importantly, there is no redemption. I think if they have redemption, they might just still be on it, but... oh my, this is so annoying.
Oh, it does. Yeah, this is really good. They managed to get one tower mid. Maybe they could go for two if they're bold. Ping's actually towards the Baron.
Oh, okay.
Are they going to do it?
Should have Hawk shot.
Probably not.
Yeah, you don't feel like you have the damage.
Yeah, no, they back away. We'll have to contest this Dragon in 50 more seconds. And I think J-Team should just come out on top. They're going to be on the map earlier. They're going to have the control. Feels like somehow Betty has to put on an absolute monster performance to turn this fight around. But he does have a lot of gold.
Yeah. He is looking strong. I think, yeah, you're pretty much relying on this Xayah to do the damage. But in fairness, Kerez already this game has found a lot of really nice engages. And with this Xayah starting to pick up more gold is one way that you could perhaps turn the fight. Although with how much shielding and healing is coming out of this Ivern now, it feels very, very difficult. As well as it's really hard to hit anyone past this Gragas, past this Alistar.
Driver's building something weird here. He's got a Blighting Jewel for the Void, also has a Kindle Gem, maybe just for more CDR. We'll see what he ends up doing with those.
I love this
guy,
man.
It's a bit funky, but hey, he's getting the bits and pieces that he needs. I'm actually surprised he's going for Void. Feel like
he's just thrift shopping.
Maybe. Oh,
lava. Flash for flash, and there's Lakai coming around the side though. This should be the Ivern going down, and that is a massive member of your team to lose.
Yeah, now I think Beyond have to go to Baron.
Oh, Soul picked up in the meantime though.
Yeah, they should be able to get the Baron though. I think J-Team should probably try fight this.
Lakai's not there. He's sticking around the red buff for now. I think J-Team have an angle. It's actually going to be an early engage onto Kerez, who is getting low, but the Magnet Storm comes through, doesn't really find exactly what you want, although the rest of the team will. They're finding the damage. It's Enso getting so low. Driver's running. Is going to land slows here onto Lakai. Importantly, does not go down. It will be the Baron, though, for BYG. All in all, a lot of gold going over to BYG, but it is the Soul for the Baron, and J-Team still comfortably in the lead.
That felt really weird for me. So J-Team, you have a couple options, right? You got the Baron, or sorry, you got the Dragon Soul. You can just back away and not fight it, right? But I think they want to fight. They're still pretty strong. As we get this replay, but if you're going to fight this, why are we flash engaging onto Rel? This feels like the exact wrong thing to do. So much is used onto this Rel so early, and just kind of allows Rel almost to get into the backline, and just sets up a perfect engage. So I think there is probably a way for J-Team to contest this, but they went about it in the strangest way. And this perhaps gives Beyond a way back into this game. They've closed up the gold lead significantly. Now it is Dragon Soul that goes to J-Team, but I think now that the kind of big pen items are coming through. Seralda's not far off on the Jace. Obviously, Betty, he's had it for a while. I feel like the Dragon Soul is actually not that impactful.
Oh, well, really? I think it's quite
so.
impactful against Saplings again, as well as Jace Poke.
I think it's mainly for the resist and the shield, but I mean, we'll see. I feel like it's mainly going to come down to teamfight DPS. And Betty, almost 100 CS up. I feel like he's the GOAT of teamfight DPS right now.
You'll have to see. He is going to have to play incredibly well, though, to try and find the damage necessary.
Void on Driver. Not too sure what for, but he does have it.
There's more damage. He's basically doing true damage at this point. On short cooldowns. Ooh. Okay, looks like a bit of pressure here, at least topside for Beyond. And ultimately, not much coming from this Baron so far. And with a minute left on it, doesn't feel like you're going to get a whole lot. Maybe you can look to try and take down one tower, but I think all in all, pretty good at neutralizing the map thus far. Obviously, 3K was found after that Baron.
Yeah, I think this very well might just come down to that Elder fight in 3 more minutes. I'd be curious to see what last item Betty goes towards. There will be no flash on the Alistar until this Elder comes up. Maybe they can try and find an engage before it. They do have that Ash ult. It might be good just to ult and try get Betty's cleanse somehow, because if you can make sure that's down for the team fight, it would be a pretty big deal.
Driver's up an item and a half.
On that, maybe they're looking.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp does come out. There is going to be the knock-up found here, and massive poke out of 1116. Driver arrives, perhaps a little bit too late. He's trying to run now. Should be able to go golden and delay a little bit, but this team fight's gone terribly, and it's once again Kira's finding pretty much the perfect engage. As now, Enso is going to also get sniped down here from 1116.
I think they just end.
They might be able to, yeah. The Baron is going down in 10 seconds, so what are the death timers like? It looks like 20 seconds on Bruce. They have to try and survive for at least that long. And with Baron going down, it is perhaps possible. There isn't a very big minion wave. Static
Yeah,
Shiv
they have a
also
Shiv.
available.
The Shiv is so important here, but can he actually order the wave? Feels like not.
Yeah, not finding the damage. In fact, it's going to be Kyrus looking for the damage required here. The initiation onto Minji. Minji's trying to do the damage, but is he going to be able to? Bruce is alive. It's going to be BYG. Eventually picking it up.
Yeah.